Okay, so I'd like for everyone to start by introducing yourself and saying how many conventions you've been to. And we'll start with Beth Stubbs.
My name is Beth Stubbs from the Maryville Rotary Club. I think I've been to 24 international conventions. I am currently serving as the endowment chair for the district and several other smaller roles. So y'all need to come.
Yeah.
I'm Frank Rothermill, and I started going to conventions in 2005. Then I went to 15 straight. Then Rotary canceled 2 conventions because of COVID. Then I went to Houston. And then the next year, my son got married. I missed that one. And the year after that, my grandson was born, so I missed that one. But I did make it to Calgary.
Finally.
Finally.
My name is Rosalie Peter. I've been to 2. I went last year to Singapore, and this year to Calgary.
My name is Tom Summers.
Y'all
recognize me? Tom is from Chase Valley Rotary in Birmingham, and I told him where I was going for the convention, and he said, "We got to see him." So he joined our group, had a lot of fun. My name is Mark Linville, and I've been to 3 international conventions. One is Osaka in 2004, one in Chicago in 2005.
My name is Lena Shatara, and I've been to 1, Calgary.
That's the one you ever went to, right?
Yeah.
I'm Ed Anderson. I've been to 9 conventions. Frank said they canceled 2. They didn't cancel them. They had it virtually. So I count those 2 virtual conventions as part of the 9 I went to.
Good afternoon, Rustin Johnson. So this is my 3rd convention. I attended in Atlanta, Singapore, and then Calgary. So just a note about the presentation on the screen. So that is the video. We've had some technology wonkiness this morning, so I apologize for how maybe the photographs are not quite centered on the screen. You'll get the experience. And it will coincide with some of what you will hear with panelists today.
I'm gonna step back away from that. Okay, I'm Shannon Holland, and this was also my 9th. Now it's 2 virtual because it's a little more impressive, but several, they all have their own special flavor. They're all largely attended. This year was one of the lighter ones, and it still had 16,000 people from around the world. So these are not small events. All of the Rotary leadership is there, and you know what I really like about them? They mingle. And anyone here can actually, go to these events, and then you get to talk with the leaders. You can ask them what's coming up next for Rotary, what's the next big thing after polio eradication, how are we doing there? And another thing that you'll hear about today are the excellent speakers. I actually joined because Bill Gates was a keynote speaker in New Orleans in 2011, and I was so impressed, I came back and joined. So other people have things that stand out to them too from these conventions, and I'd like to start with Susan, and she's going to tell us what really stood out to her.
When we go to general sessions or whatever, and then later we go to this huge area where we just sit there and have coffee, $10, $20 coffee, and just sit around. That to me was, we were just with everybody. It could be people from San Diego, from Singapore, from India, from everywhere. And they all are working about do a project. I learned so much about the project that they're doing, and I'm so impressed with it. And I tell them about the project we're doing, and we, by the end of the conversation, we all want to work with each other. And that's the most beautiful thing. I mean, the Rotary, when they say service before self, everyone I meet in those areas are just amazing. And this is we talk a lot about let's meet somewhere, but let's meet after that crowd is gone. We want to go and be there with whoever is sitting on those tables. And there are hundreds and hundreds of those tables, but the coffee and everything else is very expensive.
Exactly. Would you have Frank and let him talk a little bit about what stands out to him about attending conventions?
Well, I think the main reason is probably one of the main reasons that Beth goes is, we have friends all over the world, and this is one place where we can see them. Get together, and I enjoy, I'm kind of, interested in clean water. So I usually go to the World Water Summit that they have. It's the day before the convention kicks off, so I always try to make sure I can do both of those, and they're very, very informative. And, I think that, I also enjoy a lot of the foundation events and stuff that are going on during the convention. So the speakers are great and everything, but, I like to mostly see my friends.
Yeah, please.
Is it my turn?
Yes, ma'am.
I think the most important thing that I received from the convention is motivation to keep doing what we're all doing in our small groups of Rotary people. Inspiration, because I see what others are doing. I think it's really important that it just revs me up to go. I started my first convention in Singapore, and then we went to Singapore last year. So I made all the rounds to get back to Singapore, and they only have the convention in a certain city every 20 years. So my first one was in 1999. But I have seen some extraordinary stories told of great human sacrifice and, just people changing the world in their small areas. And so, this year, I think one of the delights was Gina Davis was there, the actress Gina Davis. And she has a tremendous story. Is anybody gonna talk about that? I won't say anything.
No, go ahead.
Her story is that she determined long ago, when she was a child, that there were very few, female actresses in children's things on television. And then also it applied in some regard to regular television. There just weren't that many females portrayed. And so she did all this data gathering and found that if she went and talked to producers and directors and said, I need you to know and be aware of that women are not having nearly as many roles as men, that they would change that. They did change it because she got their ear. So someone like her is trying to make social culture changes, and I appreciated her very much telling her story.
Thank you. I'm glad you got to Gina Davis. She was very inspiring, and she talked about how one person can make a difference. She used her platform, and that's what we do in Rotary. And you're all here because you want to do good in the world, and we leverage our connections for the good of the world, not for ourselves. And that's exactly what Gina Davis did. So one highlight of every convention and every larger Rotary gathering, whether it's convention or not, is the House of Friendship. And if you go, you're probably going to spend a lot of time in the House of Friendship. It's one of Rush's favorites, so he's going to tell us a little bit about it. Rush?
Sure, thank you. So, as President Holland said, the House of Friendship, which is really a large exhibit hall, it really is the heartbeat of the convention. It's the center of gravity, I like to say. And within the House of Friendship, you really get to see the international organization, the full spectrum of it, really on display. You learn about the foundation and all of the work that we're doing across the globe. There are many sessions that take place inside of the House of Friendship on a variety of topics that align with our areas of focus. You meet Rotarians from all over the world. It's an opportunity to have a $5 or $10 coffee. With a Rotarian that is on another continent, and you make connections and you learn about all the things that they're doing and all the challenges that they face. And in those interactions, there are partnerships and collaborations that are born. So we'll talk about the fellowships with all of our Rotary fellowships, vendors who come and sell Rotary merchandise. It's really like a marketplace. And so for any conventioneer that you meet, I'm sure they will tell you that the House of Friendship really is the heartbeat of the convention and where you really get to connect with Rotarians all over the world. And so I'm dressed, probably like the average conventioneer with my all of my gear on and wearing my pins, and you'll see the flags that we have exchanged where you meet all the other Rotarians and really learn about what they're doing in their clubs around the world. So yeah, the heartbeat of the convention.
That sounds great. Thank you. It's one of my favorite places too. Now, two gentlemen here on the end have hats on, and not just for style and not just to be Twinkies. Ed, you want to tell us a little bit about the hats and then the fellowship?
Every time you go to Rotary convention, I don't think anybody up here said the word fun. These are really fun to go to. And you go to a city you probably wouldn't otherwise go to. It's well organized, it's cool, everybody's nice, people look out for you. But when you go to a convention, there's usually some hook or something to make you remember the city. And in Calgary, it's the white hat. Everybody, when I got back here, they said, that's a great Stetson. It's actually made by the Smithville Hat Company in Calgary. And they went to, I think it was the World's Fair in Toronto in 19, whatever it was, more than 100 years ago. And their delegation brought a bunch of white hats and gave them away. And now it's a well-recognized symbol of hospitality in Canada. So Rush and I got our white hats inside the House of Friendship. We got the basic $35 hat, I think. Tom Kale from the Chattanooga Rotary Club got one that was about $300 that was made out of felt. You could get one handmade out of a beaver pelt for about $3,000, but it's really, and some people walking around with these, and my story about the hat is, they would help you and give you a little greeting and make sure you got the right size hat. Some people didn't know how to wear a cowboy hat and they'd wear it backwards. And the Premier of Ottawa where they don't wear these, got in trouble one time. But I said, in the United States, we have a phrase, all hat, no cattle. And she patted me on the shoulder and said, honey, we have that here too.
Thank you, Ed. Can you tell us about fellowship?
Sure. I don't know if you guys remember the trade show. I had a booth set up that was the Rotary Whiskey Drinkers Fellowships. So Rotary has dozens of fellowships, and these are people in different clubs all over the world that share a similar interest. It's yoga, rock climbers, hikers. Some of them are born like stamp collectors and people that speak
Wine.
Esperanto, wine. Yeah, so at our fellowship, I volunteer at the Whiskey Hall. Unfortunately, with the rules of Calgary, there was no whiskey. Prior conventions, there's been a lot of whiskey. In Atlanta, it was sort of a problem. But it was whiskey, wine, rum, gin, beer, all lined up along one hallway in the House of Friendship. And it's a lot of fun. My particular fellowship, we had two meetups, one on Sunday, one on Monday, and people in the fellowship would just find a place to meet, tell everybody where to go. And you go and there's 60 or 70 people there that share your interest, whatever you want to do. The people that work these fellowships, they're kind of like little celebrities at the convention. And it's just a lot of fun. So if you join the Whiskey Fellowship at our trade show, you'll probably start getting emails. You should have got one already. We get together on Zoom twice a year. This is my plug for my fellowship. It's going on simultaneously in 24 time zones. So the Japanese and the Australians are up at the crack of dawn. The Europeans are already drunk because it's the middle of the night, and it's 3 to 6 in the afternoon here in the United States. And I'm gonna tell a secret about Shannon. Shannon went to Canada. She said, I want to go curling while we're in Canada. There was a curling fellowship at the hall. Now, they didn't have a big ice rink set up inside the House of Friendship. They had like a mini curling rink, like a little shuffleboard table you'd find at a bar. And Shannon was the champion of the mini curling. It's natural, so they gave her a little foam, squeezy curling rod. So
It was my favorite thing from the convention, and so I didn't bring it because I didn't want to lose it. But I'm so proud of that stupid thing, and I beat Thailand to win. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Rushton. Now, Lena, this was your first time at a convention, correct? All right. You said at one point you thought you were a little nervous, a little overwhelming, but you loved it. Is that accurate?
Yes,
Here, let me get you the mic.
I'm not normally a big crowd kind of girl, but, and I was kind of nervous about it. So I kind of pretty much was hanging on each one of you's coattails and until I got my bearings, but I was very impressed by the different age groups. It was from, like, I've even seen families that had kids and not many, just you can count on two hands, but, just of all ages, and it was very, very impressive. What I also seen is that it's like the whole town, the whole Alberta almost was Calgary, convention, Rotary. And, everywhere we went, of course, we went to Banff and Lake Louise, and even at the hotels where we were staying, it was, I wanna say mostly, Rotarians. And it was so nice, you sit at, a bar and you're talking to someone who is a Rotarian member in Thailand or in Italy. And it was very, very, very impressive. And it just to see, the fact that I was nervous about it, but then you get there and you see that everybody's got the same mindset, the same mission, which is to do good in the world and love one another and just be kind and be a global citizen. So these are the things that, really I took away from it. Yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Greg. Thank you. I was really glad that you went. And, Susan, you did a great job shepherding her around.
Yeah.
On your second convention yourself. And Mark has been, this is his second Rotary Club. Mark came from our third Rotary Club.
Rotary.
He has been, president of his former club, and he told you about one of his friends. The Summers from Alabama did join us. They were great. And Mark had some friends down there, or I should say high up in Rotary International. And I think you were going to tell us a little bit about a past president whom you know from Alabama.
Yeah, well, I know two past presidents from Alabama. And there were four altogether from that state. But one was from my club and he was, president of Rotary International, Lynn Estes, 2004, 2005. And I had a great opportunity to be the president of our club, 2004, 2005. And you're talking about being a, that was tough, but and talk just briefly about us, presentation, and there's a report from Mark Maloney. He was past president. He's from the Decatur Club in 6860. But talked about he was a that's right, chair of the trustees of the Rotary Foundation this past year. So he gave a report on the foundation. First, he talked about programs of scale. Did anybody know what programs of scale are? And
Man knows.
1, 2, 3. These guys probably know about programs of scale. Programs of scale. This was part of Rotary Foundation that started 2021. And they was a program for the year of $2 million plus. And those are big chunks and big projects.
And y'all could apply for one.
That's right.
Can apply for one. Not exactly why I'm learning about this. Mark talked about the one he and Gabe went to, and that was 2000. And let me say 22. And they went to Nigeria, and then the program of scale there was Together for Healthy Family. And it was the program to reduce maternal and neonatal mortality rates in Nigeria. Big task. And he went on to talk about that. The one that really impressed me, and this, he talked 10 minutes out very kind of presentation about programs of scale. was the Partners for a Malaria-Free Land. And that was the first 2021. And it was originally set up and used $6 million to accomplish a successful effort. This project, because of local work and part of our partners from, of course, the Gates Foundation and World Vision, it, because of Rotary, went to a $30 million project. Now, that's very significant. We've had water access in India, pathways to peace, and the current one, Colombia. I'm taking up a lot of time, but it's really.
It's good stuff. Where's the money come
significant.
from? Where's that money come from, that 30 million and that 2 million?
That comes from the Rotary Foundation. Rotary International Foundation.
That we all gave.
That's right.
We all gave you gift to. Not part of the annual fund,
From the World Fund.
World Fund. And the annual fund, we get a portion of that back to the club and the district. He also talked about the Rotary, our. I get to the right page in my notes. That's one of the pages of notes for this speech.
Think of that stuff.
The top priority of Rotary is polio eradication. I don't know how, it started in 1988. At that point, there were 350 cases, 350,000 cases of polio in 25 different countries. We tackled that. And now we're down to 2 countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan. And we've had a lot of issues, problems to tackle with polio eradication. Anyway.
Is that a good place to stop? I think you've given us a lot of things to think about.
Yeah.
Mark will take questions after.
I'll take care. Thank you for putting this.
Mark has led our own committee on Rotary International Foundation, and he's still on it this year. And he's the one who came up with our Make Everyone a Paul Harris Fellow plan as well. So thank you very much, Mark. That was a great idea. And we are not the only ones who want to eradicate polio. People who are not Rotarians believe in what we do and the way we do it so much that it's one of the reasons I joined. And it's one of the reasons that Bill Gates made an announcement at this year's convention that he is continuing the 2-for-1 match for another 3 years. So his foundation, the Gates Foundation, will continue to donate up to $100 million at a 2-for-1 match. So we're doing great things. And we also had some other very impressive speakers at this year's convention. Ed's going to tell us about the director of the WHO, Ed.
Yeah, his name is, you've probably seen him on the news channels. His name is Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus. Did I say that right, Beth?
That's close.
Close. And he made an appearance virtually. He said, I was on my way to the airport, had an issue come up and had to return to my office. But he's a Rotarian too. And to see all these people in Rotary pushing in the same direction as far as clean water, disease eradication, public health is just fantastic. I don't know, when I remember I go to these conventions, I see people talk about public health, and we talk about the 7 areas of focus. Mine's eradicating disease. That's one I feel strongly towards. And you see people that are, Bill Gates, the director of the WHO. You meet people in the convention hall that are there from UNICEF at different places. Frank's, installing clean water projects all over the world. Just to see all those people pushing in the same direction, it's fantastic.
Oh, yes. And I will not attempt his name, but the good doctor who leads the WHO, he asked a question. He said, why would you possibly stop eradicating polio efforts now? And he answered his own question. He said, you would not, you would never. And that's when he addressed us live from Geneva. So that was pretty impressive. And it's good to have partners like that. So thank you, everybody who gives to the foundation. It's one of the pillars of every Rotary club. Now, it's not all fun and games at convention. Well, actually, there are some fun and games. And Rush is going to tell us about choose your own adventure while you're there.
Yes, so as you can imagine, the international convention is a huge meeting and it's impossible to do everything that's offered at convention. And so it really is an opportunity for you to choose your own adventure. And I spend quite a bit of time in the House of Friendship, because within the House of Friendship, in addition to many content sessions, there's opportunity to learn a lot about Rotary itself and what other clubs are doing. And so there is something there for everybody. You've heard about some of the content sessions. I attended content sessions on membership because I'm chair of the Membership Development Committee. And so for whatever role you have in Rotary, you can basically design your own curriculum. And so in addition to that, there are fun and social activities that you can participate in. There are excursions that are offered that you can, of course, curate your own experience, social activities. But one of the, I guess, the signature events that take place at convention is called the Host Hospitality Night. And that's where the local Rotary clubs, and it's a ticketed event, so you have to sign up in advance and they sell off really quickly. But the Rotary clubs, the local Rotary club, they have some social event that is supposed to be indicative of the culture of where the convention takes place. And you attend that event, you meet the members of that club, and you learn about all the things that they're doing. And it's just an opportunity to connect with the club, but again, with Rotarians from all over the world. So there really is something for everyone, and I encourage you to really thoughtfully consider attending a convention.
Thank you, Rush. So we're getting close on our time, and I'd like to end with one of our visiting Rotarians. If you can tell people why they need to go next year to Taipei, and then we've got a video that will help convince you that it's for you. Beth?
Thank you, Shannon. I think the reason you need to go to Taipei is you would never go if you didn't know 25,000 Rotarians who will be there. I think the numbers are already over 20,000 pre-registered, which will be one of the largest conventions we've had in recent times. And I served with a lady on the board who was from Taiwan, and she was the nicest person on the board of directors. They are a wonderful people. So I feel like you will have an extraordinary experience. And I encourage you that if you do go with someone, because you don't want to end up staying in your hotel room when you could be out having fun, because we've used the 3-letter word a few times, but there really is a lot of fun going on. But, you know, to get on a bus or in a cab and somebody else needs a cab and it's a Rotarian, and it's just an extraordinary event to be in a place where everyone is kind and wonderful.
That's true.
So that's you've got to go. You got to go. Are you going? Who's going?
Go it.
Come on. Come on. Who's going? Who's going up here? Look, see, if you would go one time, you'll go back.
Well, we're going to work on that. So thank you very much, everyone, for sharing your experiences. We appreciate that.
And where's the convention after Taipei?
It is in
Dubai.
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 The year after that. So I was hoping for Dublin, but it's Dubai. And to whet your appetite for next year, the convention, Tyler Motter is going to start a video that is put out by Rotary International for next year's Taipei convention.
Join us for a unique opportunity to connect with the international world of Rotary. Each year, we come together to discover the wonders of the new lands and create